Welcome to Divine Duality Tarot. My name is TJ. This video is for you, Gemini, for week 50 of 2022. That is, I believe, December 12th. So what I'm going to do for you today is a romantic reading for the week of that week. Nice. Kind of do a basic spread, get a good idea of, what could be going on in your life, Gemini, for that week, give you a little heads up. As I lay them out, if any of them are vague and don't quite, I don't want to say don't make sense, but don't make sense, I do have a second deck here for clarification purposes. So let's find out what is going on with Gemini week 50. Give me a good message here as to what is going on. All right. The Lovers, the World, and the Five of Wands. All right. So you have a basic idea of the generalization of what was just drawn. You have the Lovers. The Lovers is, when it comes to relationships, I like to say that for the most part, it represents values alignment. Values are probably in my opinion, one of the most important things you can have in a relationship. If you don't see eye to eye on your core beliefs, then you're going to argue about everything. Like, if your core stuff can't be agreed upon, what else are you going to agree upon? Some people like to attribute that to, twin flames. I'm thinking more so soulmate energy, but people do interpret these as they will. So my outlook on it is definitely values alignment. And then we have the World. The World is a new phase in a relationship. It is a lot of times it's a learning lesson. Interesting. It's a learning lesson. It could also be confidence in your relationship, because you got the World, And then, kind of out of nowhere, you have the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands is, it can be promiscuity, getting around, finding many suitors, or more often with me when I see this one, it has more to do with being overwhelmed with drama. And that drama can be any kind of drama in your life, especially if there's more than one source of it. It can really be a burden. So going from just the outlook on it, you have values alignment for that week. Like your core beliefs are going to more so be in sync with your romantic interest with whoever this person is, be it a current or potential love interest. The values are there, which is giving you the opportunity to gain your new found success in your romance. But then we got this burden, this overwhelm. So what I'm going to do here is, just to be on the safe side, I'm just going to clarify all three of these and really get some detail as to what's going on. Try to be, I want you to have as much information, Gemini, going into that week. Okay, so we're going to start out with the Lovers. What does the Lovers represent for our Gemini for that week? Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Same question For Gemini, what is the world? What in the world do they have the world for that week? What in the world? What does the world represent for our Gemini? I'm gonna spread these out a little bit. Got this huge table, and I never feel like I have enough room. Probably help if I just stop moving stuff all the time. But that's who I am. So Gemini, what is going on with this burden? What is this burden? Or what's causing the burden? Why is there burden? Fascinating. Okay, so we will start with the Lovers. Once again, the Lovers, values alignment. Representing that is the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is refusing an issue, refusing a truth. It's not being blind to the truth. It's, you know it's true, but you are refusing to acknowledge the truth of it. Now that interesting thing to go with values alignment. And then we have the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is success. A lot of times with Pentacles, it's more materialistic. So it could be a financial success, some kind of a benefit in the material sense. And then you have the High Priestess, and she is intuition. She's your gut feeling. She's your subconscious mind telling you, I shouldn't say telling you, but your subconscious mind pushing you toward, you know, certain actions. So I think the Lovers doesn't necessarily, I'm calling this, the Lovers in this week represents complacency. You have values alignment with your partner, and I think that's blinding you to the details that there is an issue, and blinding, I'm sorry, it's well, it kind of. So you are refusing, because of the values that you share, an issue with financials, an issue with some kind of expenditure, some kind of, it's got to be something straining this week, and it could be something that started before and is gradually getting worse. I'm not saying that it's debt, but debt is an example. Debt only gets worse, especially if it's, you know, got interest on it. There may be an issue, and you two are getting along so well that you don't want to acknowledge the issue. So there is something on your mind, and that's starting to play into this, but we'll get there. And you know there's a problem. You don't want to think it's a problem, but your gut is going to be screaming at you. It's a problem. Do something. So Gemini, don't be fooled by your feelings. Feelings can lead you to success, and feelings can lead you to failure if you don't temper that with your mind. If you don't temper that with, you know, strict, honest thought, you could get lost in feelings, and that never leads anywhere good. Usually, sometimes, rare. So trust your gut. Understand that if you see a problem, it's a problem. Because from what this is telling me, you're in a good spot. You might be afraid that by addressing that it's going to collapse. You know, if your relationship, if you feel like it's fragile, it could be one of those, you know, you're afraid it's going to be like a house of cards and just fall apart. So or it's the first time you've not been fighting in months. You know, it's to be understood. I don't think it's purpose. You know, it's an innocent thing, but you're lying to yourself. You're not lying to anybody else but yourself. Which leads us to the world. The world is that new phase in the relationship. It's celebrating love. I think this is more so solidifying the idea that you are in a good spot mentally. The world, the celebration that you have is the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords is more or less a logical approach. It's logical truth. It's getting it in your head and working it out, you know, what reality is. See, there's a pattern here, it being in your head. Then you have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is a new issue, and it's slow and requires, like, it's acting on feeling. It's the Knight of Cups has a lot of meaning to it, but in this particular circumstance, I'm thinking that this is representing the success that you think you can have, but it's going to be slow going because you're in this rut. You know that you can get through it, but you can't because you don't want to admit that there's this issue. And then you have the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands is movement. It can be new romance. This is why I'm thinking that if you've had some kind of prior issues with this person, if it's been stressful, you don't feel like you've been connecting, and suddenly you are, and then something comes up that feels like it can get in the way of that. Like, these two right here are the story for that week. This is it. This is what's going on. You are in a fragile place and you don't want to screw it up. And that's where this guy comes in. The Five of Wands. I knew it was going to come in there somewhere. Overwhelmed and drama. You on the outside are probably showing, you know, a strong, a sturdy front. Your Nine of Cups is satisfaction. You're showing satisfaction even though, you know, there's an issue. And you got the Eight of Pentacles, which is a dedication to building. So you're overwhelmed by wanting that satisfaction. And you know that you can work toward it, but it's going to require putting in, you want your justice. Justice is justice. Justice is confidence in your action, but it's sharing your heart and showing your vulnerability. You're overwhelmed, there's drama, you want the best, but you're afraid to show it. You are putting forth a front. You are putting on a face that does not represent who's behind it. That's what this is. And it's an honest thing. I'm not seeing anything here where there's going to be cheating or anything like that. At least, you know, your end of it. But what I do see here is, you know, there's a problem. You don't want to admit the problem because things are going good and you don't want to screw that up, which I understand. That's a very human thing to do. But one thing that you have to understand is the new but slow. The more you let things build up, the worse it's going to get. Problems will compound over time. So you have to get your justice. You have to throw your issues out there. If you are in a relationship or you are looking to start a new one and the circumstances are right, get your problem out in the open. Because if this person's actually your values alignment, they're going to look past the crap and work with you on it. That's the whole point of having shared values. I think deep down you know that it would work if you would put in the effort. So I'm going to ask one more question. In relation to our Gemini, what is their partner's or their interest romantic energy going into this week toward you? Toward our Gemini. Who? Okay. King of Swords. King of Swords. Rational communication. They are open. They have the ability to listen. They're rational. And you may see this as rational communication, but they could be putting on a front. And the reason why I'm thinking that is they also have the Two of Swords. You both are refusing an issue. They may be communicating with you and they might be starting to see through your front. They might start thinking that there's something going on, but maybe it's just a rough patch. You know, like it's maybe my Gemini is, you know, just in a rut, you know. It's cold outside, so they may not be thinking that there's a big issue, but they have a tower moment. The rug is being pulled out from under them. They are going to have a huge change. I think that huge change is the realization that there's a problem. They're going to have the rug pulled out from them because they think everything's fine. But they are rational. They are rational and they know that there's a problem, but they don't want to admit it to themselves. You two are almost like aligned perfectly with this problem. You need to force that tower moment. You need to pull the rug out from under their feet. Get your justice. And that's week 50. I mean, you got to do something. And I think honesty is going to be your best situation. And that's going to blow their mind. They're not going to like what they hear. But they're rational. And I think that their heart is already prepared for crap. Like they know there's a problem. They just don't know it because you do. You know what's going on. So open that up. Take care of week 50. Get your stuff straight. And make it work. Gemini, you have the power to do that. Use it. So with that said, please Gemini, leave me a comment below. Let me know if this resonates with you for week 50. Like and subscribe so you'll get the next Gemini videos when they come out. And with that, I will see you Gemini in week 51.